It's those moments. It's the moments in your life where you've decided you're going through a really difficult time, and it's something you might be going through on an ongoing basis, but you decide that you're going to cringe forward. You're going to take that opportunity to not stay where you're at and push yourself to the next level, whether it's personally or in your business. It's your forward moment when you go from a human being to human becoming. And today I have the opportunity to share a conversation with you and my friend Kayleigh Spain. And she's going to tell you about some of her cringe forward moments that she's had as an entrepreneur. So Kayleigh, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so
Let's
much.
hear a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Kayleigh Spain. I am the Director of Marketing for Spain Commercial Inc. Spain Commercial Inc. is actually my father's construction company. I'm second generation, and I actually started off in the company 11 years ago. I worked on the field. I started off doing everything from demo, jackhammering, framing, hanging sheetrock. Eventually, at that same time, I was working to get my my CAPM, which is my certified assistant project management degree, and I got that. I started running small projects, and I got pregnant with my son, and I kept going. And then just months later, after I had him, I got pregnant with twin girls, and so that made me pivot, obviously. And so it was supposed to be a temporary job for me to take care of marketing within my family's construction company.
Now, I bet that you say construction and being, a woman in the construction industry, that's something that's not very common.
No. I mean, it's still, it's getting up there. I mean, when I started, I think 11 years ago, it was only 2% of women were in the construction industry. Now I think it's up to about 10%, which is amazing. But it's so cool as a female, even on the marketing side of it, I get so amped when I see other women. And when I'm on site still too, we all like, woo, like we see another woman, and the camaraderie between women, because it's still so rare, is like incredible.
Did you get any pushback too, because you started working like at your dad's company, that, okay, the only reason why you have this job is because of who you work for or anything like that?
100%. But I do feel, and that's why my dad was like, hey, when you start, you're going to start from the bottom. You're going to start like all my employees are going to be doing. I mean, I was demoing toilets and everything you can name. But the thing about me is that I watched my family build this business. Like, my dad is such a hard worker. He's not afraid 30 years later not to get out there and do that kind of work. So I knew the hustle and the grit it took. And so I was not ashamed. I never thought I was above it. I never thought any of that. So I was ready, but I was also really wanting to earn the respect, not only for myself, but like of our crew. And I think to this day, even 11 years later with the guys, I really do have a good relationship with them because I've been there with them, And the truth is, I think if it wasn't for me getting pregnant, I'd probably still be out. I would still be out there, but I know that God had a different plan, and me getting pregnant with those 3 kids was absolutely no accident. And I'm where I'm at now. What started off in my career as something to develop a portfolio to get us more work ended up turning into this thing of like, let's highlight blue collar. Let's highlight the amazing things that they're doing. Let's show them how amazing they are. And it's like morphed into so much more. It's
right.
Like,
because you don't think of social media when you think of the construction industry, even on the commercial construction level. And when you adapted being out there on social media and creating this content, a lot of other people weren't even doing something at that point that was similar.
No, they weren't. It wasn't even a thing. I mean, I think, and that's the thing about, like, a lot of people laughed when they were like, oh, you think you're going to grow your family's construction company doing social media? And like, it's like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, watch me. And I did, I mean, like,
right.
I had a vision for it. And at the time it was interesting because I was so grateful to have my dad that really truly believed in my vision. He didn't understand it, but he trusted me. Where a lot of people were like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, what do you mean you're going to do this? And I pushed forward even through it. And I mean, it's been incredible, because I think that's the thing I always want to teach humans and women in general. Get past what people think about you, because if God gives you a vision, there's a reason for it, and you got to push past people. But you'll be the last one laughing if you keep going.
Right.
Definitely.
So, I mean, and even though you knew and you had that vision and you decided, okay, I'm going to cringe forward through this, that
Mhm.
even though it's hard and I'm getting the pushback from everyone else and they're saying, oh, who does she think she is? How is this going to help? Or yeah, I can't wait till she fails.
For sure.
Was there anything like specific or a moment where it didn't go how you planned and you said, okay, that's it. I'm going to cringe forward anyway?
All the time, all the time. I mean, you know, I think I was at a point in my life. So when I started it, when I started in the construction industry, I was 24. And I mean, there was times when I would mess up. I mean, when you're starting, you mess up,
When
and
you're a human being,
you're a human being,
you actually make a mistake. Oh my goodness, I can't
I
believe
know.
it.
And I remember I was doing flooring demo and I took up too much flooring and I was like, I mean, it was like you just see money going out the door, And of course, like I felt awful. And, but I was just thinking like I had such tunnel vision at that point where I was like, I know this is where I'm supposed to be at. And I'm so tired of trying to figure this out, but like I know this is where I'm supposed to be and I'm gonna make it right. And whatever I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do this 110%. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. I think that's where I was at. I was in this mentality of like, I don't know where I fit yet in this puzzle, but I know this is my puzzle. And I know that no matter what, I'm going to be here. So I'm just going to like tone out everything, the
Mm-hmm.
praise, the meanness, the negative comments. And, I remember one of the guys even told me, he's like, you know what? You have no quit. Like a lot of people might have quit from hearing what you hear, from all these things. And but eventually when you just don't listen to people in the sense of like the praise and the negative comments, people
Mm-hmm.
stop talking. They're like, oh, like, damn, this is kind of a waste of my breath to talk to you because you don't even
Well,
care.
why shouldn't that's an interesting thing where you said, to not listen to the praise. How do you think that changes your perspective?
So I think you can get too caught up in the praise. It's definitely difficult when you're like, oh, you're so good at this, you're so good at that. I think you have to drown out the noise a little bit. Like take it, but don't get too caught up in it. You know what I mean? Like you have to say, all right, like, okay, God's given me this gift and what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to elevate this and
Mhm.
not be like, oh, like that's so good. I've plateaued. I've done as much as I can and I've plateaued.
So
And
that discomfort and kind of that awkward and that constant, ability to push yourself forward and not be comfortable where you're at.
yes, a comfort zone is a beautiful place where growth never happens. That's what I always say. It's like, if I'm getting comfortable here, this
Love
is not
that.
where I'm supposed to be. This is not where I'm supposed to be. So, and that's another thing I think I just really was grateful that I did have like good examples for us parents of like, life's hard, keep pushing. Like, life
Mhm.
is difficult. Like, it's not daisies and roses. Like, I remember growing up, I'd be like so mad, I wouldn't win a softball game or I didn't get MVP. My dad's like, be better, practice more. And it
Right?
was no,
Suck
honey,
it up,
like, oh,
buttercup,
you what?
suck it up, buttercup, it's not gonna go exactly as you
Yeah.
planned.
And I do the same thing with my kids. Like I was like, I love you, but if you want to be like that boy, you got to go out and practice more. That's life. Like that's how you get better. And so I think that having those examples for me helped me in life. And I'm trying to, teach my kids the only thing I love you. But if you want to be that at that level, you don't get there by just standing here and like going, let me just be good.
Right, and they see you constantly pushing yourself on social media, and I know, before we went live, we talked a little bit about authenticity on
Yes.
social media, and that's what you specialize. What do you do specifically to show up as your authentic self on social media?
I mean, I think I'm always just unapologetically myself, and I can't help it. I hate to say that. My friends even say that they're like, "You just always you," and they don't say it sometimes in the best tone. It's just like I can't help but be me. But when as far as social media goes, when I started off the page, I didn't really put myself out there. I was the behind the scenes camera person.
Mhm.
And I knew that our crew had such a great personality that's what I really wanted to put out there. But my friend actually that owns a marketing firm was like, you need to flip the camera. You need to start showing people the person that's, doing the behind the scenes. She's like, I think you'll really have a good response. And I was
So
very
it's not just the thing that you're connecting with the story behind the person and who you are and why you're doing this as well.
exactly. So before I was kind of just showing our crew and it was just from my perspective and you were like, I was just filming. But then eventually I started, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to start like kind of just almost, I would say narrating, but I was kind of like, before I go into a job on Spain's page, I kind of talk people through it and, just say what we're about to go into and like why this is important for me, or kind of sometimes breaking down a job, a project, the guys, like, it's just, I would say it's funny, it's professional. I try to do a mix of everything, but this is my life. Like, it really is. It's like the company is my life, and these guys are like family to me. So it's easy for it to just flow. But when I did start, there were some people that were a little bit older and that worked for our company for a while that were not like, they were like, this is unprofessional. Like.
So how did you get them to tell their story or to show up with authenticity on social media or feel more comfortable in front of the camera? Because I know a lot of people are like, dude, I don't want to be me. I don't want you to see my face or anything like that. How is that going to help my business?
It's so funny because like a lot of our guys love the camera. I mean, you go around and like they start posing, and that's why yeah, like all of a sudden the drill's like held, like, okay, here I am. And so that was like part of me was like, we got something here. Like, their personalities are hysterical. They don't even know they're funny, and they're hilarious. That was the best part. And I'm like, we've got gold here. But the thing that really kicked it for me was like, on that idea was when we go to jobs, we work with clients sometimes for 6 months to a year on a project. And all of our clients really loved our crew to the point where they were like invited to do the Secret Santa at the office, or they were
So they had that human connection with your clients already that you were working with in the industry.
Yeah. So I kind of want to show people like, hey, this is what it would be like if you hired us to do the job. This is
right.
Like,
because they can hire any construction company out there to build whatever they need, or to remodel a project, or to do what they want and have the way. So why do they choose you?
Exactly. So that's
they choose you because they connect with those people.
Yes. Yeah. Brand personality is so important because, I wanted people to know we're not a robot. Like, this is our family business. This is important not only to us. I'm a Spain. This is important to me, but like these guys, they're a part of our family as well. They're committed to this. And when someone takes pride in their work and it's important to them, they'll go the extra mile. They'll do the extra things, and they feel like it's their baby as well. So I wanted people to see that. That's just our crew. They're not just a number. You're not just a number. This is important to us. This is your dream that we're bringing to life. And this is important to us, So I think.
How did that impact the bottom line as far as like, did it attract new business or help your customers? Because you mentioned before, sometimes the project doesn't go as planned.
Oh, I mean, I think that's the thing is like, it never usually goes. I mean, if anyone's in construction, they know like you have to constantly pivot. You're constantly dealing with different things, but knowing that you're dealing with a quality contractor that's like, I'm going to make it right no matter what. And that's the way we are. We're like, however this pivots, we're always going to make it right. We're always going to do the right thing. And you can always communicate to us what the need is or where you're, maybe not happy or whatnot. And I think that's the cool thing. All of our clients, like when they do another project, they call us back, so we have a lot of repeat clients, and we do a lot in the healthcare industry, and we have a really great relationship with a lot of our clients from that as well. So I mean, we've been very, very blessed, I think, because of that camaraderie and those relationships. But I knew
you showed up consistently online too. So you have those. You've also showed up consistently online, like when you present your brand on social media.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're also like backing up and you're having that relationship. You're saying, hey, we have a sense of humor. We're real human beings. And then when they're actually working with you, it's not like there's a disconnect with the brand.
Yeah. No. And that's the thing. You have that mix where I show people, I'm like, here's our portfolio. We can do the work. We work hard, but we also play hard too. There's a mix, but like, we're going to get the job done, but we have a little fun as well while we're doing it. And this is like a step inside of what it would be like if you hire us. And we've had such an amazing response. It's been really cool. Like, I even was on a podcast not that long ago, and I was talking about even people that want to come work for us, because that's a whole other thing too. Like, our company has grown, and a lot of people, we constantly get emails like, I want to be a part of a family in their resume attached to the, when they apply on our website. And it makes me tear up a little bit because I'm like, how cool is that? Like, they want to come work with us. they want to be a part of what we're doing. And I think that that's a really cool response to see that our social media pages are really reflecting who we truly are, and people want to be a part of that. So
Oh,
yeah,
definitely. Because it's more than what you do, it's who you are that people connect with.
100%.
They connect with the story, they want to be part of the culture, and any, what's going on in the world right now, and especially in the United States when it comes to employment rates, like everyone's looking for someone to work for them.
Oh yeah.
There's a shortage of and it's like, where are all these people doing and where are they working? We need to grow our business. We don't have enough manpower to be able to build what you need or sell what you need or to create whatever it is you need, regardless of the industry. So I think you bring up a great point that you differentiate yourself by saying, look, this is who we are as a culture. This is our story. This is how you can be a part of it. These are our values that we're communicating and everything. Now, I want to go back a little bit to what you said before. You talked about how you're a mom, you had twins, and you have another child, you have a son as well, and you've got a busy life at home. You manage social media for your business, but then you also do a lot of posts and everything like that about your life and personally. How do you balance everything that you do as a mom and an entrepreneur?
It's a circus. It's crazy. Like I told you this before. I was like, if people could see my life before I get my kids on the bus in the morning, they'd be like, oh my gosh, and it's nuts. But I think that I always know that it's going to be nuts, and I embrace the chaos, but I do stick to my routine of, all right, kids, work, hustle, and I still try to be present. That's a big thing for me too, is trying to be present with my kids. By a certain time, it's like phone away. It's time for soccer. It's time for these things, and
with social media, like people are posting all the time or comments and everything like that. And having that family time, that can be challenging.
It is. It's funny because I do digital marketing and social media, and my family always makes these jokes about me. They're like, well, I know if something's really wrong with me after like 5 or 6, I can't call Kayleigh or I'll just die, because I leave my phone upstairs. I try not to, engage. I really tried hard to be present, because it does bug me when I see other parents that their kids are beside them and they're like glued on their phone. I do. I
struggle with that.
And that's the thing too. It's funny because I have this conversation with people, and I think that's what will make you better in social media marketing and digital marketing. You cannot get creative when you're too glued to your phone. I mean, you've got to step outside and really evaluate a lot of things. Sometimes I get inspired when I'm not on my phone. I know this was crazy.
Right. Did you see too many of the same things of what's trending right now? Like, I'm like, yeah, Lizzo's dance and this song, it's about dancing or whatever. Yeah, and to point and everything like that. And I can practically do it even though I haven't practiced, but that's not necessarily pushing my business forward by consuming and creating.
I think that's the thing too. You got to do things on your own terms, what makes you you, and not be so. I'm not really big on saying, okay, I'm going to follow all the trends, because I think that can be very overwhelming, and then you lose sight of who you are and who your brand is or what you stand for, because it can be overwhelming. I got to keep up with this. And, we're not even on TikTok yet. And I'm like, we're not on TikTok. Everyone's like, are you guys on TikTok? I'm like, we're not on TikTok yet. Like, we'll get there. But my biggest thing, and the biggest thing I preach is, like, you cannot be the jack of all trades. Like, jack of all trades, master of none. I would rather master Facebook and Instagram and not be on TikTok as of right now, and wait for that moment, because, everyone's like, oh, it's a missed moment. I got to be here, 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 here. What I see people when they do that, their content gets watered down, and then they lose a lot of people. Go, well, Jen, if I follow you on TikTok, I'm getting the same thing on Instagram, so I'm not going to follow you on Instagram anymore, because you're posting the same thing. So on Facebook and Instagram, I actually post different content. So I try really hard. Yeah, I do my reels exclusively, of course, on Instagram. I do a lot of other things. I always call it a social media mullet. It's like business in the front and party in the back. I put Facebook is my business. I keep it very professional. Instagram is my party. It is goofy. It's funny. I add a lot more personality to it. So that's kind of my mantra for it. But yeah, I'm not on all the social platforms. Everyone's like, are you on this? Are you on that? I'm like, no. And I think people can't
me too.
No,
I'm not on, because and that's something I talk to my clients a lot about, with your personal branding on social media. You don't need to be everywhere. You need to be where your ideal audience is.
You need to hit your demographic.
Right.
Yes,
And sometimes it's LinkedIn, and that's something that I've been learning to embrace a lot more because of the professional aspect, but you can still show personality
for
and
sure.
who you are and tell your story, even if it's on a certain platform.
Definitely. And I think LinkedIn is definitely evolving too. I need to get more. I'm actually really going to try hard to get back on getting more on LinkedIn, because I do think they're actually more open to personality than it was so much more rigid. I think even a couple of years ago. Now it's like, oh, their LinkedIn started. People are starting to show personality. That's me. I'm all in. So LinkedIn is something I definitely want to get more like, more on and into. But yeah, Facebook and Instagram have been huge for us and really targeting our demographic. So I don't really feel the need yet to get on TikTok, So, and like you said, you have to really sit down and go, okay, what does this, what would be my why of doing this? Who am I going to
Mhm.
target? And of
How does
course,
it reinforce your brand story? How does it really reinforce who you are as a company? Otherwise, I mean, you can have something go viral. I've seen this happen to people before that
yeah,
they have something that's tons of views, but then it doesn't tie back to their audience.
yeah, and even I had another friend, and Mark was like, oh gosh, we get so much organic engagement on TikTok, and I was just like, but like, who are you following? Someone from like Wyoming? Is it gonna hit? Is it going to? Are you going to get services from what you specifically do if you own maybe even a lawn care business from that video? I hate to say
Right.
that, but are you targeting people in your area code? Are you able to do work in that area where you're targeting or you're hitting viral views? That's a great thing, but you have to really go back to your why. Yeah, it's awesome to get a viral video. Of course, it's awesome, but at the end of the day, like goes back to your business. If I can be investing hours more on making epic reels that are going to be reaching my area where I can actually get work.
Right,
And
because you have a physical business. It's not just a service-based business. It's
no,
not a service-based business that's global,
yes. And if you're a global business, boom, yeah, I totally get it. But if you're
or if
just
it's
like,
just online, or if it's
yeah,
consulting or coaching, that's totally different than when you have like a brick and mortar business or physical employees that need to be somewhere on a job site.
100%. So that's the thing. You really have to think about that, But if you are a global business, a consulting business, boom, I get it 100%. But for us, we don't, we are brick and mortar. We go and we serve our area. We serve in Virginia, and that's it. So if it's going to go outside of that, then I have to really like, go write this off for right now because I am the content creator, the photographer, videographer. I'm all of it. So I have to very much go. I need to conserve
So
this
what have you
creativity.
done to grow your skills? Because I know that happens with a lot of marketing people that they have to do it all, or small business owners. It's like, okay, I am everything. In
Yeah.
addition to doing my home stuff, what have you how have you done it? What worked best
Um,
for you?
so what I do is I do this thing where I spend like 9 minutes sometimes just really kind of I don't say like diving in, but like putting it towards my craft. Even at nighttime, sometimes I'll put an hour. I'm very big on video content. So if I see something
Mhm.
that inspires me from other like content creators, videographers, I'm gonna learn how to do that tonight. And
You don't
I'm
put it off. You're like, okay, I'm gonna jump in
no,
and I'm just gonna try that.
tonight I'm gonna learn how to do it. And like even my husband makes fun of me because I'll be on the computer and he's like, I'm like yelling at my computer. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you like? What's going? He's like, seriously, you gotta stop talking to your computer. Like this is. I said, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna, and I'm mad. I'm like, I'm gonna get this. And you know what's so cool though, Jen, and I'm sure you know what this feels like when you start accomplishing things you never thought you could, or doing things you never thought you could do. It is like this high. It is like
Mhm.
I did that and I never thought I could do that. And
It gives you that little bit to get to the
yeah,
next level.
it
Because you're like,
does.
if I could do that, I could do the other thing. And I have visual reminders. Like I
Yes.
have my list of accomplishments like next to my desk right here because there's times where I'm like, I beat myself up or I do something that I fail miserably and I'm like, well, I can get back up and try.
Yes. Yeah. And you're gonna fail. That's the thing, is like that's part of success. People, the thing I've learned, I've been very blessed these last couple of years. I've been around a lot of very successful entrepreneurs. We've had very real conversations and they've all failed miserably. But the one thing they have in common? They got back up.
Right?
Fall down 7, stand up 8. That's the thing. It's like it's not the people that we nailed it the first time. And you know what people do? They go, oh, they just got it. They just got it and I didn't get it. And I'm just gonna quit because these people are just so successful and they just got it the first time. If you actually talk to successful people, none of them, they still fail, but they know that if they keep getting up, that success is going to be the only option for them. And that's
right. It's a learning opportunity. Like, I don't even look at it as failure. I'm like, what can I learn from this situation? This is an opportunity to learn and grow. And it helps me become better. And like you said before, when you're comfortable, that's when you know you need to change. That discomfort is what pushes us to evolve and become those human becomings. So
absolutely.
How can people connect with you, Kayleigh?
On Spain Commercial Inc. On Instagram and on Facebook. So I can spell it out, but
Yes.
do you want me to?
Yeah, go for it.
It's SPAIN COMMERCIALINC. So find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Spain Commercial Inc. Thank you so much. I just want to encourage anyone who's watching or listening. I want to let you know that your voice has value, your message has meaning, and you deserve to be heard. Cringe forward and create that content. And if you need help telling your personal brand story to be able to position it with authenticity online, that's what I do. And I'd love to be able to work with me. You can connect with me at jencampbell.com, or I'm the Cringey Mom on Instagram, the TikTok, because I'm working on embracing that, and on Facebook. I hope you have a fantastic day and cringe forward.